What's up, guys? Big J Yillis. Excuse me, James Horn. I forgot. I'm not on the Shift the Core channel anymore, man. As you can see, I'm out here in the middle of the desert. We've been quarantined for about a week now, and it's like a ghost town out here. But it's okay. It gives us some time to, reflect and, talk about some things and really be able to, just talk about things we wouldn't be able to talk about. So if you don't know, my name's James Horn, and I've been a single dad for about 3 years. I went to court to get custody of both my children, and I've had them since. And it's been an interesting journey, to say the least, man. It's been real interesting. It's been a real emotional journey. It's been discipline. It's had its highs and, it's had its lows. But I'm very, very blessed to have them in my life. I have 2 boys, and I love them to death. And I'm glad that I'm able to, be a good father and be around. Because a lot of men don't have that, privilege. And I think that raising kids is a privilege. Raising kids it's not a right, A lot of people out there who have kids shouldn't be raising kids, should never have them. But us as men and women who are, in the parent club, the single parent club, we understand that our children bring, enrichment to our lives. So I got my kids custody from my kid's mom, and I'm not gonna talk about her because the point of this channel is not to slam her. She did what she did, I did what I did, and we all gotta make the hard decisions. But we started by living in a friend's apartment, on their couch. One of my friends was gracious enough to let us stay there, so we stayed there, and it was my friends and their 2 kids, and it was like a full house. And then we moved to a bigger apartment complex where me and my kids had to share a room. So we moved from staying on the couch, rolling our stuff up in the closet to having our, own room, and then after that, we were able to move into our apartment complex where we're at right now. We were blessed to be able to move into an apartment where we can have our own rooms and our own space and everything. And, we've been here for a minute, So the first thing when I got custody of my kids, it was liberating, but it was scary at the same time, because after the first couple of weeks, the awe kind of goes away. You're like, oh, I'm the man. Yeah, I did it. Oh, I got custody. Yeah. But then you have to raise these kids. And trust me, man, as I know our baby moms or our ex-wives or whoever, they can be a certain type of way, but women really do know how to raise kids, They know the important stuff, about how to keep them on a schedule and feed them good food and, love them and read to them and do all that stuff that sometimes is not so, naturally in tune with us as men, because we're more the providers, we're more the warriors, we're more the go out and get it, get out of my face, dude. I got to work to pay these bills type of people. That's who we are. But when you take on the role as being a single parent, you have to learn how to balance both those roles, and that was one of the most hardest things for me, because for the longest time I was just on this trip about, I gotta make this money, 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 and my kids were just, the quality time was just kind of getting left in the dark, really getting left in the dark. So thank God for me, I had a bunch of women that I wasn't involved in that were my friends and were my family that, were able to, tell me that I was, fucking up, and let me know that if I wanted to be a single dad, then I had to do it all the way, 100%, and not blame everything on being a single dad, Why are you taking your kids out to eat every day? Oh, I'm a single dad. Why are you tired? You don't spend time with them? Oh, I'm a single dad. Why don't you do this and why don't you do that? Oh, I'm a single dad, I had to accept that I was using that, as an excuse, and I really, really had to look deep inside myself and want to change to be a better father, because I wanted the best for my kids, As single dads, we want the best for our kids, so sometimes we have to change ourselves to give our kids the best. So I had to learn these things about, parenting. I had to learn, So I think the first 3 things that every single dad needs to learn when they take on this role, and the 3 most important things is this. The first thing is, you need to accept that you're going to be doing both the roles as the provider and the nurturer. You have to have both those roles. And you have to be willing to embrace both those roles as equally important. Because if you don't embrace those roles as equally important, then one or the other is going to get, left behind, and you don't want that. You know what I mean? You don't want those roles to be left behind. You feel me? So you have to embrace both those roles and put them together as a yin and a yang. And sometimes we don't want to be the nurturer. I mean, I didn't want to be the nurturer. I just wanted to be the man, But being nurturing and being loving is part of being a man. Society sometimes makes us feel like that's not part of it. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to be nurturing like a woman, because women, are natural nurturers and natural lovers, But we have to be able to show our sons and our daughters, love. Even if it's tough love sometimes, we got to show them that. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to figure out where you want to be in the future. You got to put together a game plan, not even a game plan, just a vision of where you want to be in the future. Like, if you're living in an apartment, do you want to live in a house? Do you want your kids to go to a private school? Do you want them to do sports? Do you want them to do arts and crafts? Do you want them to do music? Do you want to spend time with your kids? My goal is to be able to spend, 51% of my time with my kids, and not be a slave to the corporate system. That was my goal, I wrote that down, that I don't want to be one of these dads who's always at work. I want to be one of these dads who actually put time and energy and effort into their kids. But in putting that plan, I have to accept everything that comes with it. You got to accept the dad, and the annoyance and all the stuff, because we want to spend time with our kids. But us as dads, when we think about spending time, we think about going fishing or going on a drive or taking them to the movies or taking them out to eat or giving them important conversations and stuff like that. But sometimes spending time with them means dealing with them being annoying and dealing with them being brats and dealing with them with being, acting outside of themselves. So you got to put together where you want to be in the future. For me, it was 10 years. Where you want to be, because once you know that, you got to work backwards and to get where you're going. You know what I mean? So the yin and yang and where you want to be. And the third thing is you got to put together a schedule. Schedule is everything, because if you schedule everything the right way, you can get everything done. If you should schedule everything. Your work, your pleasure, your everything. Because if you look at a schedule and you see how much time we actually waste doing bullshit, you'll realize you have time for your kids. A lot of us are like, oh, we don't have time for our kids. We don't have time for our kids. Once you put that schedule together, you realize, damn, I'm spending a lot of time playing the video game. I'm spending a lot of time, doing this. I'm spending a lot of time, watching YouTube. I'm spending a lot of time going to the gym every day. I'm spending this amount of time just sleeping or even just drinking and hanging out with your boys. If you realize that, because in all actuality, if you give your kids 1 hour of quality time a day, just 1 hour, that's more than 75% of most kids in America get. Most kids in America don't even get that. They don't get 7 hours because they get the tablet, they get the phone, they get all this stuff. Start with 1 hour, and once you get to 1 hour, bump it to 2, bump it to 4. But just start with 1 hour, because trust me, all the people out here who have never had dads in their lives, and trust me, they'll tell you, if their dad would have spent 1 hour of quality time with them a day, their life would be changed. Their life would have been changed just by 1 hour. So those are the 3 steps, man, just to get started, not in any particular order and stuff. And I think the most important thing is the yin and the yang and the game plan. Time's important, but if you have a game plan to spend time with your kids, then you'll sit down and you'll create that schedule. So anyway, that's it for this video. Like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions, let me know. One more thing too, if you have good women in your life that you're not involved with. You know, like if you have like a cousin, an auntie, you know, a homegirl, a friend, you know, somebody out there, let them know the situation and talk to them about it. Because a lot of this stuff that I got from really good women in my life. Because trust me, if I didn't have the women in my life, I wouldn't know what the hell I was doing. But I had to be open to it because after that whole thing, you know, happened, I was a little angry and scorned, you know. But thank God for the good women, because there's a lot of stuff that they know that we don't know. And we don't give them enough credit. But anyway, like, subscribe. I'll catch you on the next one.